evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Craig Levitt Show. I'm Craig Levitt, and this is my hour, and I'm happy to have you with me. Hey, it's raining in Las Vegas, Nevada. How cool is that? I have one daughter that just got back from spending 18 months in London, England, where it rains all the time. In fact, in London, you don't tan, you rust. And she was just, so happy to get here to the desert. And just been loving it. She's been home 1 week. And today it was raining, and everybody in Las Vegas was going out, and saying prayers of gratitude and having the rain fall on their faces and drench themselves. And it was just the greatest thing. And my daughter said, "Rats, it's raining. I was hoping to get away from the rain." Well, you can't please everybody, but we are so grateful for the rain. I don't know, when I was a little kid, and by the way, that was a long time ago, when Lake Mead was first concocted, filled, whatever it is, when they first did it, it was full, and the marinas out there were so nice, and I could water ski. Well, I couldn't water ski well. I looked like, orca getting dragged behind a boat, but it was fun, and the water was warm because it was, heated from the sun. Now I go out there, and from the parking lot, it's a fur piece out to where they park the boats, moor the boats, do the boats, whatever they do with boats. It's a long way from the parking lot. Anyway, it's good to have some rain. We're happy to, I don't know, maybe we'll have some flash floods, and that'll be really cool, except for the people that get caught in them, right? I have a special guest with me today, and I'm going to introduce her to you. She's sort of a special person to me, and special. She's my daughter. Anyway, not the one that was in England. This is my little gal, Serre Splond. Say hi, Serre.
Hello.
She's got the personality. She actually should be the host of this show, and
no.
I should be the one over there giving the hand signals and doing all that other sort of stuff. But in fact, the other day, my brother said, "Craig, you got a radio show," and I said, "Yeah." And he said, 2 questions. Number one, do they pay you to do it? And I said, "No." And he said, "What? You got a show and they don't pay you?" And I said, "Well, we're working on that." And he said, "Well, why radio? Why didn't you go to television?" And I said, "Bro, take a look at me. I look in the mirror every day, and I don't see a television personality. I see somebody watching the Craig Levitt Show on television saying to the person in the room with them, 'Would you like to go get a pizza?'" So anyway, that's why I have my radio show, and I'm really happy. Now, Serre is an incredible woman, and I'm just going to have her play with the dialogue for a second, and later on I'm going to interview her, and I hope that you'll get out a pencil and a piece of paper, because she's going to be answering some incredible questions, and we're going to have a fun dialogue, aren't we, dear?
Oh, yes, we are.
Okay. Over the past little while, now so that you know, this show is actually taped live. I don't tape mistakes and then pass them on. So if I make a mistake, it's live.
No going back.
Yeah, well, that's what, I can't erase some of the things I actually say. But we are non-political. We're nonpartisan. We don't have a social bias. This is just an open forum for ideas, thoughts, and comments that come from me or from my guests, or if you decide you want to call in and give us a thought or an opinion or something like that, you can do so by calling KDWN 720 AM on your radio dial. And their telephone number here, the call-in number is 702-257-5396. And so if you get all turned on while we're moving on, then call, let us know what you think. But I'll tell you what I've been thinking about lately. I have been surrounded. I've got beautiful daughters. They look just like me with hair, and it's incredible to just see myself. But these daughters of mine, I have Brenna, and I just love Camille is my oldest, and love her, and And I've got Julie. Now Julie is the princess.
Yes.
Cheyenne is the pretty princess. And Serre, her middle name is Zenobia, which means beautiful African princess. So I am surrounded by princesses. And people say, well, Craig, does that make you the king? And I said, no, I'm Sabu the houseboy. And, can I tell you where that comes from? Everybody out there that wants to know how I got the name Sabu, raise your hands. Oh, two of you. Okay, well, when Julie Noel was about 2 years old, it was a Saturday morning, and I had taught her well that Saturday mornings you just stay in all day and watch John Wayne Westerns. So she was laying on the couch, and she was just being really cool, and I enjoyed that because, I always enjoyed John Wayne Westerns. So all of a sudden, she gets this idea that she wanted to have, are you ready for this? Top ramen noodles with hot dogs chopped up in them. Now, that's very cool because I had also taught her that because, I didn't want to cook a bunch of things. So anyway, I said, what do you want, sweetheart? She says, I want noodles. I said, oh, okay, and I knew about the hot dog. And then she had some other demands, as she was stretched out on the couch. And I said, princess, am I daddy or am I Sabu the houseboy? And she thought for about 15 seconds, and she said, you Sabu, daddy. So I'm surrounded by a beautiful queen and beautiful princesses, and I am Sabu, the houseboy. That is so cool. But I've been thinking this week, I've been very concerned, just like you have, with how life is in our country. And this is not political. I'm just making an observation that life in America is tough.
Yes, it is.
I mean, there's about 6% of our population that don't have a job. But that doesn't count the nearly 9 to 10 million who have given up looking for a job. And there's family. Okay, I want you to bite down on this one. There are families in America, the United States of America, the wealthiest country on the face of the earth in terms of natural resources and opportunity. There are people in our country going to bed every night hungry. Now, I never went to bed hungry because if I was grounded, for example, I always had a stash of Twinkies under the pillow. There are some kids in America that don't know what a Twinkie is, except they go, Twinkie, Twinkie, little star. But I used to have a little stash of, and there are people out there, I want to wrap your head around this one. Children, you got me? Who can't do anything about their living standard, can't do anything about the course of their lives. They go to bed hungry, and when they wake up in the morning, the hunger's not gone, and they have no idea where the next meal is coming from. Now, I don't care whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or what do they call that other one? Green tea or
green tea party, Dad,
or brown hot chocolate with whipped cream, whatever political party you're in. That's just not right. It's just not right that kids should ever be hungry. And so I've been thinking about this idea all week long about what in the heck is wrong with America. Now, I don't mean the country, because America is still the most beautiful place on the earth. And if you don't believe that, go to Yellowstone. Mm-hmm. But don't get eaten by a bear. Go to Alaska. Go to Montana. Come to Las Vegas. America is the most opulent country in terms of opportunity. And yet we've got a huge bunch of people living in this country that get up in the morning and then they just kind of, what do I want to do today? I don't know. Well, let's go see if the check's in, and then they take food stamps. And I'm not against food stamps. I'm not against helping people. But folks, are you ready for this? Okay. Turn off TV. Tell your kids to be quiet. Listen to the radio for 1 second, but don't start until I tell you. This is America. People in other parts of the world dream about the opportunity to come to this country. Because here they can work. Here they can make their dreams come true. Here they can do all these wonderful things. How come it is that people outside the United States dream about coming to America to get an opportunity, while the people in the United States who could use an opportunity, don't get me wrong, opportunities need to be chased. But rather than looking for these opportunities, what these people do is try to figure out how to get the rich people to pay their fair share of taking care of the people who aren't taking advantage of opportunities. I find that really puzzling, because I want to tell you something. Okay, are you listening? Okay. There is no reason for hunger and homelessness in the United States of America. Okay, I said that quietly because that's a secret. Okay, because apparently everybody doesn't know it. So, okay, there is no reason for hunger and unemployment in the United States of America. Okay, so what's the problem? How come there is?
Well, I think it's because not a lot of people can find, they don't understand that there's a way. So when you grow up in certain circumstances and you have certain, you live in certain situations, you think that this is all that there is. I know one of my favorite songs, she's this singer, Janelle Monáe, she says, ghetto woman, all you needed was someone to free your mind. And it's so true, because all people need is someone to free their mind, to show them that there is a better way. There is a way, even though it may be hard and may take you a while, there is a way for you to achieve your dreams and your goals and your aspirations. And some people, they don't have that person to free their mind. They get trapped in, I guess, whatever environment they grew up in, and they succumb to that, and they repeat the cycle. They always say, a lot of families always look for that one person to break the cycle, because so many people repeat that cycle over and over again of just staying impoverished and in poverty, things like that, you know?
Well, you get into a cultural or an ethnic rut.
Yes.
And you figure, wait a minute, I'm in this rut because somebody else up there above me or whatever fired me or told me I couldn't work anymore. And so I'm in this culture. And I got to tell you what, you can drive throughout Las Vegas, Nevada, into many neighborhoods, and it's not just one or two people. There are communities of people who don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you about my little baby girl, Serre. I love her. She just is the coolest thing in the world. Now, I'm not going to get too personal.
Okay.
When she was 15 years of age, she stood up one morning, and there was a song in her mind, and it was, "On the boats and on the planes, we're coming to America." Anyway, what she decided she was going to do was do something different than anybody she knew was doing or had ever done or was ever going to do. So she pulled her pony from the barn, slapped a saddle on it, and took off out into the world. Scary when you're 15. You can't even drive yet.
Yeah, not
Well,
even.
now she's 20 and she still can't drive. She has a license.
Stop it.
Sorry about that.
You got here safely, didn't you?
I did. But this girl decided that she was going to make a mark in the world. Now, this was before I met her. And by just hard work, she got through, I don't know if they call them a charter school or an advanced high school, and scored so high that she was able to think about getting scholarships, and people were thinking about giving them to her. I mean, if she had just sat, on the steps or the porch of her house and said, "Well, I got a crappy life," today she would still be having that same crappy life. Is crappy a bad word? Can I use that on the air?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but she didn't. She says, no, Today is the day I make a change in my life. And make a change she did. Now, we're getting close to a break, so I don't want to get in too much before our next segment because, I have time. I got 10 minutes. So she went out. She got herself a job. Hello, people. Put that down on your list of things to do. Number one, get a job. She did. And she worked like a railroad crew as hard as she could. Not just doing her job, but learning other skills and other things that would help promote her. And before she knew it, before she could even put in her Christmas list to Santa Claus, she was in management. I mean, this girl is incredible. She was in management, and she was working hard, and she was getting respect. She was getting plaudits from her employer. And by the way, I'm not going to name the employer. It's a national franchise, but they haven't paid for airtime, so I'm not going to mention their name.
No advertisement for you guys.
No,
sorry.
yeah, we don't care about them anymore. But then she decided to do something else. Nobody in her family had ever gone to college. I have done everything I can to talk her out of that. But anyway, this little girl, besides working, 8-10 hours a day, jumped into college. Isn't that right?
Oh, yes.
Now you just barely got C's, right?
Yes.
No. I love to tease her. No. Kid had such a high grade point average that she qualified for financial help, reserved for those who were qualified for it, right?
Yeah.
Did that help you at all?
Oh, definitely, because of the fact that I didn't have, of course, the money to pay for it. So I applied for many scholarships. Of course, you still get the grant from the federal government, which is the FAFSA. So I was able to completely pay for my education. Yeah.
Okay, you guys want to hear this? She is beautiful.
Oh,
and no, I just love her. But can I mention that she has a 2-year-old baby girl, that she's a single mother?
Name Winter.
And the kid is marvelous. She's sharp as a tack. But Winter was a good name because sometimes she's like an Arctic blast.
You can't help but know that she's there.
She is absolutely an incredible child, and we certainly love her. She's not real big on me.
Oh, she loves you, Dad.
I need to say something here about one of our sponsors for tonight's show. Some time ago, Ed Bozarth Chevrolet became a contributing sponsor. And I got to tell you, Ed Bozarth Chevrolet believes in the same things that we're talking about as far as revitalizing our society, getting people in education, getting people on their feet,
up and doing something again.
Yeah, they're incredible. Now, Ed Bozarth Chevrolet, I've been out there. Clean, beautiful facilities, and they treat everybody that comes into their showroom like their family. They're not pushy. They don't jump on you as soon as you come in like they used to in the old days of Zorro. Somebody jumps off a rock and knocks you off your horse. They're really great. Now they're out there on 5501 Drexel Road, and I'm telling you, folks, you got to go out and see Ed Bozarth Chevrolet. They are absolutely incredible people, and what I love about them is he's successful. That's a successful company, but they care enough. For example, they're totally dedicated to helping our veterans get opportunities, do the same thing that Serre has been talking about. So I want to tell you, that's I just appreciate people like that who jump up and want to help the community. And I owe an awful lot to Ed Bozarth, Chevrolet. Please forgive me. I mean, the guy could probably sue me because I keep mispronouncing the name, and I'm sorry. but I'm not the brightest bulb on the tree, but I do know an incredible business when I see one. And I snuck out there a couple of times, and Ed Bozarth, the people, his staff, friendly, courteous, professional. Go out there to 5501 Drexel Road. And I'll tell you what, once you go out there, you're going to be part of his family. That's why I want you to be sure to do that. The reason I pulled that in is because we love people who, like Serre and like Ed, one day had a dream. Has having a dream helped you, Serre?
Oh, yes.
How did it do that?
Well, when you have a dream, then you build upon that dream. First, you have to have the guts to dream up something better than what you have. And some people are afraid to do that because if they dream, then they're afraid they'll fail. And if they fail, then they'll be let down and disappointed and they'll be depressed. So the first step is to dream. And when you dream, that's when all the pieces start to fall together, because then your mind starts to go to work on how it can help you achieve that dream. If you can dream, you can achieve. I think I quoted that right. Probably
no,
not.
You blew it. No,
Did I blow that?
Oh, you did. It was,
They get the point. They get the point, right?
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I've known a lot of car dealers. I mean, I was a good friend with Wayne Peck and Shaw Buick up in Salt Lake years and years and years ago, and Larry Miller and a bunch of others. And you know what I love about these guys like Ed Bozarth is even though they're successful, they care about helping those who want to have a boost up in the community. Not a gimme, but these guys care. And that's what makes any community vibrant. And, well, you just got to go out to Ed Bozarth. I'm just telling you, if you go out there, you may not walk back, with a car. You may not get a car that day, but you're going to be impressed to the point that when you do want a car, that's where you're going to go. Mm-hmm. Because you're going to love people like that. Well, anyway, I got to tell you, going back to my little Serre, here's a girl, just in her teens, got a little baby. What am I going to do? Because, she couldn't work at the job that she was working at 8 to 10 hours a day and still be a mother. Now, that's why I was born male. It's because I could never be a mother. That would drive me crazy. And for me, it's not a long drive. It's a short putt.
Because you're almost there, right?
That's right. But I got to tell you, this little girl. So what did she do? I'm going to tell you what she did. Well, no. I'll let her tell you what she did. What she did to help herself not falling into the trap of government entitlements. Mm-hmm. But why don't you tell people what you did?
Well, so I knew that I wanted to have a better life, not only for me, but also for my daughter. And I knew that where I was at, I wanted to move forward. And of course, where I was at and the company I was with was an amazing company, and I could have still moved forward, but it wasn't the direction that I wanted to take my life. So, of course, I had to have a dream, and I had a dream. But the thing is, when you have a child, especially if you're a single mother, you have to put your child first, and you have to think of your child first. And
hey, stop right there. Write that down. You mothers, you little girls.
I don't think they like being called little girls, Dad.
You young ladies.
There we go.
Is that cool?
That's better. That's better.
Well, if the young ladies need this, just imagine how bad the little girls are. So, okay. If you even, some people use having a child as an excuse not to move forward. You did not.
No, that's my motivation.
That's right. And it was incredible to watch. But go ahead. What is it that you did so that you could do things?
Exactly. So I needed to do things. And I know that if going to school is a job in itself, and all my students, we all know that. And being a mother, all of my mothers, old and young, with the babies out of the nest and one still caring for them, know that being a mother is a full-time job. And also me having a full-time job. So I had 3 jobs at one time. And let me tell you, I'm not Superwoman, so I was starting to stumble a little bit. So I needed to make a decision. And I knew, like I said before, that my daughter is the most important thing. And the second was my education.
Yeah, and you know what, folks? We're going to take a little break for the news. That's going to be depressing. Come back after the news and listen to us, because we got a great second half coming. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is Craig Levitt. Glad to be back with you. I have so much fun doing this. I was messing up, like I say, on Ed Bozarth's name and a few things, and my little daughter here said, Dad, that's not very professional. You sound like some kind of a rookie off the street. And I said, well, I am a rookie off the street.
Yeah, we just pulled him off.
Yeah,
off
just
from
picked me
behind
up
the
outside
building.
and brought me in out of the rain. I'm just one of y'all. I mean, there's nothing about me that's pretentious or, I mean, I'm just one of you, and I have my own concerns and I have my own thoughts, and I hope that you'll join me with yours. But I've talked about Ed Bozarth, and back in the 50s when I was a little kid, and don't anybody laugh, there used to be a show on TV on Sunday night, about this time actually, called the Dinah Shore Show. She was a great singer, and she would sing, "See the USA in your Chevrolet." You know, those are great. And it used to be the theme for America was apple pie, baseball, and Chevrolet. I threw hot dogs in there because who cares about a ball game if you can't,
Hot dogs.
have hot dogs. That's right. Anyway, thanks, Ed Bozarth Chevrolet, for being patient with me. You and everyone out there will soon learn I am not the brightest bulb on the tree. I twinkle a little bit every bit now, but I'm not the brightest bulb. One other sponsor I have for this evening, a great organization. They are American Bullionaires, Bullionaires, American Bullionaires. They are the pathway to wealth in America. I think maybe in a week or so we're going to have some of the people from American Bullionaires come up on the show and talk to you about how I don't care who you are, where you are, rich, poor, famous, if you have hair or if you look like me, there is a way that you can have your share of the great American dream. So anyway, that's what we're looking for. Before we left for the news, Serre was still telling us a little bit about what she did as a single mother, teenager, trying to make her mark in the world. So let's get back to that, Serre. Let's get back to what you did so that, well, actually, you could feed Winter. And by the way, I got to tell you, that kid hasn't missed many meals.
No.
She has more energy than a nuclear facility. I mean, that kid, when she'll take a nap, she looks like an angel. You want to hang her on the Christmas tree. Well, either that or put her on the Christmas tree, one of the two. And she just is really angelic, and all of a sudden she wakes up,
and
Christmas is over.
Yes, it's Halloween then.
She is a love. She has more energy. Anyway, so in order to help this child begin to develop and reach her potential, Serre had to do some very ingenious types of things.
Oh, yes.
And so I tell them about what you did.
Okay, like I was saying previously, I had to choose between the 3 jobs. I can do 2, but not 3. So I decided to quit my job and to stay at home. Now, everyone knows that I didn't want to be on government assistance, and I didn't want to do any kind of the housing or food stamps or any of that stuff. So I was like, how can I still be independent and stay at home with my child and focus on my schooling? Well, my daughter is very sensitive to a lot of the products out on the market, and I have eczema. So then I made products for my daughter and I, and those products actually turned out to be very marketable and sellable. So I used my talents and the products that I used for my daughter and I started to sell them, and it helped me to generate an income for me to be able to provide the things that were necessary for my child. Now, that isn't the only thing, of course. I did other side jobs like doing hair on the side, but one important thing is the fact that I saved up money. And I saved this money a while before I even decided to quit my job, because I knew what my dream was, and I knew what I wanted to succeed to not succeed, but I knew what I wanted to accomplish. And so I needed to plan ahead of time. So I saved up money. And of course, once I was able to finally quit my job, I was able to pay my bills up for a significant amount of time. And the money that I received from my lotions and doing hair and all the different things that I utilized, like my talents, to generate income for, I use that for the right now necessities for my daughter and I, and of course putting it back into my savings account. Go ahead.
No, I'm having fun.
Okay. I thought you were going to say something.
I probably was, but I'd rather listen to you.
Well, only thing that I can say is when I knew what my dream was, even from a young age, I started on the world a lot earlier than a lot of people ever would, and I had more responsibilities on me than a lot of people do. And instead of me faltering under the pressure, I decided to push forward. Now, let me tell you, it wasn't easy. I still had some moments where I wanted to cry, and I did cry. And I had moments where I just wanted to drive on the freeway and scream, which I did do, by the way.
By the way, she does that every time she gets on the freeway.
It's the breeze. I don't know what it does to me, but what I'm saying is, I had a dream and I wanted to accomplish it. And just because you want something doesn't mean it's going to happen. And that's something that I realized let me tell you, for a moment, I was stagnant. I didn't move forward. I didn't move backwards. I was just right where I was at. But I got tired of that. And I realized that opportunities do not come to you. You have to go out and get them. And in order for you to go out and get them, you need to understand what it exactly is that you want to accomplish. And let me tell you, I changed my major 5 times, you guys. So obviously, when I first started, I didn't know what I wanted. But eventually, I finally got it. And I sat down and I thought about it. And I have this notebook. And I have 5 pages, front and back, full of goals that I want to accomplish. 5 pages, you guys. And I haven't even accomplished 1 page, but I'm working on it. I'm 20.
I think writing 5 pages is a major accomplishment.
So the thing is, I wrote them down so that I can become more realistic and more solid. And once you make these goals, I ran wild with it. I know my dad, he was telling me, you need to let yourself dream and let yourself just dream. And for me, that was a hard thing to do. I thought of stuff that was realistic and things that I knew I could accomplish, but I didn't touch on the things that I thought I might fail at. And when I sat down and I wrote these 5 pages and I made my goals, these are the things that I've always wanted in life and the things that I want to accomplish, not only for me, but for my daughter and for my family. And that has driven me. That has kept me motivated in those days where when you're so sad and you're alone and you think that you're not getting anywhere and you realize, oh yeah, I'm moving somewhere.
I think I hope you folks picked up on this, that every dream has a downside. Every dream has a risk. Everything in life that gives you an opportunity to move ahead and move forward has a risk.
Yes.
Sometimes we don't consider the risky things because we're too afraid of the risk.
Exactly. No, exactly, because what I did was very risky because I am a single mother and I do need my job and I do need an income because I have a child and I don't want to be on government assistance. But the thing is, when you make a plan and you stick to it, like for me, I live by a very tight budget, and that has helped me and my daughter to live and for me to still be able to move forward towards my dream. But the thing is, it's very risky because I was afraid, well, what if I mess up? What if something happens and all these different things? But when you let your life be controlled by your fears, you will not live at all.
Now, see, that is such an incredible point. The Craig Levitt Show sponsors the idea that you can live the American dream and be empowered by the American spirit. The American spirit is the warrior inside all of us that says, okay, if there's a risk, bring it on.
I will take it on.
That's right, and I will master it. You are such an incredible example of a person who says, wait a minute, I don't particularly like where I am. I'm going to change.
Do something about it.
And she does it. Ladies and gentlemen out there, friends, this is the American spirit. And this is what makes America different than any other country on the face of the earth, and why people from all over, like China and other places, want to come here. Because they don't have that spirit. They don't have that empowerment where they live. But they see Levi's and Coca-Cola. They see billboards of how Americans live. The problem is Americans don't live that way.
No.
But they can. And anybody out there who wants to learn how to live the American dream, number one, you got to have one. And number two, how to be empowered by the American spirit. You got to spend some time with with my little girl here, Serre. She's incredible. And as you've listened to her, I hope that rather than standing in groups on a porch somewhere whining about the fact that you haven't got a job, go out and get one. Go out and make one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you're a single mother, I've never been one. But, but if you're a single mother, you know darn good and well, just like I do, that if you're earning $10 to $15 an hour and you're paying $5 to $8 an hour for child care, you got a problem.
Yes.
After money for the bus,
Mm-hmm.
But what Serre has done is figured out, wait a minute, there's nothing wrong with me. I have a good brain. She's fairly attractive. Yeah, she's very attractive. In fact, she looks just like me with hair. But there's a spirit about her, and when you talk to her, when you're around her, it's infective. I don't know if that's a good word.
I don't know. It makes me sound like a virus now.
You can get a shot for this, but no. She's so charismatic because she believes in what she's doing. And because she believes in what she's doing, she's able to call upon these vast resources of strength and power from inside herself. And she's doing it. So those of you who are hanging around with your finger in your ear, trying to, what am I going to do? Think about Serre Splond. She's doing it. She is absolutely in control of the momentum of her life. Does that mean there won't be ups and downs? Does that mean there won't be a little bit of lateral shift? No. But if your vision is strong and straight, you can always get on course and make it happen. And that's what she's done. That's what she's doing. Do you see why I had my daughter come on the show this evening with me? I mean, she's a perfect example. I could not create such an example in a laboratory or in a technical place where I could make a robot. She's incredible. Now, here's a good one. Does everybody in your life applaud you and jump up and down and say how wonderful you are because you're doing all these hard things?
Oh, no. And that's the thing. Not everyone will approve of the decisions I make. A lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot, but some people will think like the direction I'm taking isn't the right direction. I should take the direction that they think is the right one, or a different road, and roads that lead to a place that are different from where I want my road to lead. And the thing is, when you have these people and you love them and you have all these many different opinions, it gets hard for you to kind of tune in to that special little sound wave of what exactly it is that you need to do. And it's hard. So no, not everybody approves of what I'm doing. Not everybody likes what I'm doing, and that's okay, because it's still my life, and I have to answer to myself at the end of the night when I say my prayers. I have to answer to myself and God, and that's something that is very powerful to me, because there's nobody else in that room except for you. And if you can't accept yourself at the end of the day, then who will?
What a beautiful sentiment. I mean, that should be on a Hallmark card. Don't you think, really?
I think it's too long.
No, it'll be a $3 card. One of those fold-out things and a pop-up angel or something.
Bing.
But if you're not proud of yourself at the end of the day, then if you are proud of yourself, that's all that really matters. I think that's marvelous. People always look for the easiest way.
Yes.
And don't take any risks. And it's like in the Bible. Now, the Bible. Sorry if you don't believe in the Bible, but I do. Jesus gave 3 guys talents. He gave one guy 10 talents, gave one guy 5 talents, and he gave another guy 1 talent.
I love this story.
He put me on the potential IOU list. But anyway.
We'll get back to you later.
That's right. So the guy with 10 talents, he went out and he got to working, and he made other talents. And the Lord says, you've been faithful over a few things. I'll make you master over many things. You understand the story. I'm not trying to get religious, but the principle is, if you take what you've got and you use it, and you let it grow. Then it becomes productive, and pretty soon what you had is multiplied times more. Now, then there's the guy in the parable. I love parables.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
My life's a parable. It starts with the prodigal son and goes all the way through the whatever. But this one guy, he took the talent and he wrapped it up in a napkin and he buried it in the earth.
This is the man with the one talent.
One talent. Yeah. No responsibilities. You got one talent. Try not to lose it. Okay. And so the guy with 10, the guy with 5, they were out doing their thing. They were working. They were using the power that they had from their mind and their heart and their soul. And they were making things happen. This one guy, he had that one talent. He buried it. So the day the master came back and he said to the guy with 10, what do you got for him? The guy says, well, I took the 10 talents you gave me and I got 10 more. And he says, wow, okay, I'm going to give you even more. I'm just going to, boom, you're going to be great. Same with the 5. Goes to the guy that had the one talent. Now, my one talent has yet to be discovered. But this guy, the master came up to me and says, what did you do with that one talent I gave you? And he said, I was so scared. I was so frightened because you're you're so big and you're so great and you're so wonderful. And I was afraid I would lose it, so I buried it so I could give it back to you. And he was called, do you remember what they called in the parable, what he was called?
No, what was he
A
called?
Slothful and unwise servant.
Slothful,
so,
everybody. Do you guys know what that means?
Yeah, me. But they took the one talent that he had, and it was gone. Mm-hmm. And guess what? The guy didn't miss it. You know why?
Because he never used it.
He never used it. People out there, okay, I started the show off talking about this being America. It is. And if this she's not a little girl. She's a beautiful young woman. She's 20 years of age. Do you know how many times I've been 20?
Yeah.
Anyway, she's 20 years of age, but she's living the American dream. Ed Mozart lived the American dream, living the American dream. And the American billionaires living the American dream, empowered by this incredible spirit that you can't find anywhere else on earth. Wow. And I got right before me a lady who's doing it. And she's 20 years old, and she's got a 2-year-old baby named Winter. I love the child. She can't stand me, but I love her.
She can't stand anyone.
She runs, I'm not as fast as I used to be. I used to come in third in a foot race with a pregnant lady, for example. So,
just think about that, you guys.
Wrap your head around that one. But I am so grateful to have my relationship with Serre. And really, as American Billionaires puts on their seminars, Serre will be participating as a speaker.
Yes.
And you need to come. We'll tell you on this show when we're going to have our seminars. But I got to tell you, when you come to an American Billionaire seminar, you're going to have more fun than the day the pigs ate my little brother. I mean, it is a lot of fun. You learn stuff. You learn the pathway to actually achieving wealth in America. Well, I'm thrilled. Serre, you got anything you want to say in closing?
I think the only thing that I would like to say is touching back on what we said before about people want to be comfortable. They don't want to take risks. Now, when you're on this pathway to achieve your dreams, you can't be afraid. You can't expect to be comfortable. You have to know that you're going to give up some things in order to achieve, because it's like, equivalent exchange. You have to put in that hard work and that dedication and that time in order to achieve something you want to achieve. So you're not going to be comfortable, because I'm not comfortable, but I'm happy. And that's what matters the most, because eventually I will achieve my dream. So everyone, just remember that. Yeah, remember that there is no such thing as a comfort zone. No. Only a flight path for those who are on target to achieve their dreams. Well, I'm really proud of you. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us. We still have a few minutes, and I'm just going to have a couple of closing remarks. But I do need to tell you that next Sunday at this same time, we're going to have a real fun show. It's going to be a great show.
And we're going to talk about the values that make it possible for a person like Serre or like, I guess, me or anybody. Those values that you can use to achieve dreams that most people would be afraid to dream. And I know this little girl, she said, Dad, I got a dream. I says, oh, boy. Tell me about it. And she did. Do you know what it was? I'm going to share a little bit. Can I?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to do it anyway.
It doesn't matter what I say.
She has this child, little Winter, and she is so funny. What a great kid. And so Ray began to realize that there were other single mothers who had similar problems, wanting to get a job, wanting to do some things that would advance their position and their predicament, and move them from this stage to another stage to another stage, until they were able to achieve their dreams. She said, what do I do? She called me up one night. I was about like 1. And she says, Dad, I got this great idea. And I said, at 1? Okay, give it to me, dear. One of the things I've loved is my girls have always known they can call me or anything, anytime, night or day. It doesn't matter to me. I always am going to respond. But she came up with a beautiful idea about how to help mothers with children join into a would you call it a schooling type of a program?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's not just diaper change or baby care. It's teaching kids in a good, clean, honorable environment the values of life that will help them succeed regardless of what age they are. Mm-hmm. And she told me this, and I said, well, that's brilliant. I mean, that solves not only your problem, but it solves other people's problems. And she did some work. She looked into the thing, and you know what was really cool is she found out that there were opportunities for her to do that and increase her income while she's going to school. And she's going to school so that she can get professional certification. I mean, come on, folks. She's doing everything right. She's doing everything exactly the way it should be done if you want to live the American dream and if you want to feel the motivation and the empowerment of the great American spirit. Mm-hmm. You're incredible, sweetheart. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
I have just about 1 or 2 minutes. If you want to say something, you're welcome to. Anybody want to say hi to? Say hi to Carson and who else?
Oh, the elders. Hello to all the elders out there listening.
If they're listening, they're going to get sent home.
I know. That wouldn't be good, right? But the last thing I want to say is just you can't be afraid to dream, and you can't be afraid to take that step, because I believe as the Lord reveals one step to you at a time when you're ready for it. And if you're not very spiritual, then you can only handle one step at a time.
That's true. Hey, to Ed Bozarth and his Chevrolet, Ed Bozarth Chevrolet, and his whole crew out there, everybody out there, thanks for participating with us tonight.
Thank you.
And thank you, American Billionaires. This is Craig Levitt saying good night and have a great week. Catch me next week, 7 o'clock, next Sunday night.